You need to have standards in dating if you're a high achieving man, because you have two outcome possible in terms of the woman you choose. She can either make your business or your career go worse, or she can expand it. And you usually see it with men who make a lot of money quickly, usually the kind of new money, who pick women simply based on attraction, simply based on lust. And then you see their business literally going down. And then you have men who are way more old money style, who really have standards and pay attention to who they choose and who they allow to be in their life in terms of friendship and in terms of dating. But you're going to tell me, but how do I define this woman? And how do I have standards in dating? Because you're so busy building the business, having systems, and it has never been your job to understand how to choose right. And this is why I'm here to help you, because I'm a dating strategist for high achieving men. So first step you will have to do in order to have standards is first to understand what went well and what went wrong in your past dating experience. So it's kind of see it like an audit of your company, and you will assess literally your past dates, past relationship, to see what you liked, what you don't like, what made you kind of shrink your energy from the business to her, what made you lose your focus, and on the other hand, what type of woman made you maybe more productive, made you to look more forward to see this woman, what type of value that she has. And it's really important to understand that your past dating experience can literally allow you to choose the right woman, because the idea here is to stop repeating the same pattern. Because a man who has standards in dating is a man who understand quickly when he's in front of a woman. It's okay to make mistake in dating, it's okay to make mistake in terms of the choice of the partner you will choose, but it's not okay to repeat them. And you know it, as a high achieving man, you need to learn from your lesson, otherwise it becomes a pattern. So first, audit your past dating experience, dates, a relationship. And then second, you will have to define your ideal woman and your ideal relationship. So see it as your ICP. You will define who she is and the type of relationship you want to have in terms of vision, lifestyle, goals, values, etc. How she functions, how she regulates her emotions, everything. So you will have to define who she is in order to understand what are your negotiables and your non-negotiables based on what you're looking for. And you cannot set negotiables and non-negotiables and preferences if you don't know what you're looking for. Because a lot of men think they know what they're looking for, and then we do a strategy session. What are you looking for? Oh, I want a woman who is kind. Okay, good, that's bare minimum. Then, oh, I want her to be feminine. Who is feminine to you? I don't know. Okay, so then you have just heard on social media that you want a feminine woman, but you don't understand what it is. So it must be your own definition of what you're looking for. And whenever you put a word, to say, okay, what does this word mean? So here, for example, with feminine, what does a feminine woman mean to me? Because for one man, maybe it will be the part of regulating her emotions will be super important. For another man, he will see a feminine woman as a woman, I don't know, who does art, who is more going with the flow. Or so it's really about understanding that a feminine woman has different characteristics, and some of them will be more important for you than for your neighbors, and others that are not that important for you will be super important for your neighbors. So your definition of a feminine woman is not the same definition as someone else, and this is why you have to pay attention when you see advice on social media, because not everyone has the same definition of a feminine woman, not everyone has the same definition of their dream woman, of a high quality woman. So based on this, you are able to understand what is truly important and what is not important, and this will allow you to set standards and to set boundaries. And of course, if you don't apply them in real life, well, it does not mean anything and you won't have results. So the idea is not to just work on yourself and be, okay, now I have standards, I have boundaries, I know what I want, but it's to have the ability to go on dates and to have access to dates, but not only dates with women you don't like, but dates, more specifically, dates with women you could truly see a good potential. Because if you are not faced to the type of your woman you truly want in your life, so literally your ICP, if you do not have dates with her, you might think that, oh, now you have standards, you have boundaries, you will not let a woman manipulate you, or you know that now if she does XYZ, you will be able to walk away because now you're a man who has standards, boundaries, everything. But if you don't confront the reality, literally it's just procrastination. It's not about defining what you're looking for and then working on yourself, doing self-development, because I have seen it too much where men are trapped in the kind of self-development journey, and they define what they want. They're like, I know what I want, I have standards, I have boundaries, but if you don't apply it in real life, if you don't apply it, for example, if you don't have access to dates, you cannot know if you have standards and boundaries. And more specifically, if you don't have access to dates with women you could actually see yourself build a life with, you don't know if you have standards and boundaries. In order to know, you must have the ability to have access to dates, and more specifically dates with women you could see yourself build a life with, because otherwise you will have access to dates with women who are not that interesting, dates with women you kind of don't like, you're not that attracted to them, and so you are not scared to lose them. And so of course it's really easy for you to have standards and boundaries, to be detached from the outcome because you're not that interested in them. So the idea is to audit past dating experience, to build your ICP, to understand who she is, what type of relationship you want, the negotiables, the non-negotiables, to go on date with this type of woman. And if you don't have access to dates with this type of woman, you can just book a strategy call with me if you need some help with this, and I will see if I can do something for you. But the idea is to have access to dates with the type of woman you're looking for, but to begin with, you need to audit past patterns to define your ICP, to define your ideal woman, ideal relationship, and to have access to dates with women you could see yourself build a life with. It's the most important. And the only way, and I will repeat myself as many times as needed for it to kind of come into your brain, but the only way for you to understand if you have standards and if you have boundaries is to confront it to the reality. Otherwise, it's just too easy. You just think you have standards and boundaries. I have heard this all the time. I work on myself, I have standards, I have boundaries. Yes, you have been working on yourself since 3 years and nothing happened. So you can have standards and boundaries, but if you are just laying in bed watching Netflix, or if you are just working all the time on your company and you know deep down, oh, but I have standards and boundaries, but you never confront them to reality, actually you don't know if you truly have standards and boundaries. And without this, you cannot be with your ideal woman, because the entrepreneur man, like all men need to have standards and boundaries, but the entrepreneur, the one who's more high achiever, more career driven, he needs to have standards and boundaries, because the choice of his partner can literally destroy his career, destroy the company he has built, or help him to make it grow. Like, the impact of the woman you choose is enormous. So, audit, define your ICP, confront yourself to reality. If you have a woman in front of you who could be a match and you are not able to set standards and boundary, book a call with me. If you don't have access to dates with women you could actually see yourself build a life with, you can also book a call with me and we'll see together how I can help. So it's no pitch, it's just a strategy session where I see your situation, I see if I can help you. If I can help you, I present how I work, how my selection method works. And if it's a match, we can decide to work together, because your time is valuable and I don't want you to spend time in personal development thing, or I don't want you to just waste time on women who are not a match, and I don't want you to destroy your career either.